Folks, I want to show you something that you may never have seen before. This is a letter of agreement allowing a RC pilot to fly within the airspace of an airport. You're supposed to call the airport manager and get permission to fly. Well, a friend of mine, Mr. Brett Bamford of Knoxville, Tennessee, was going to do some aerial photography for a disc golf tournament that he was involved with, and it was within the required perimeter of an airport. And so he called the airport manager and he got this letter. And here it is. And you may never have seen one of these before. So the letter of agreement dated a certain date between the city of Morristown and Brett Bamford of Knoxville, Tennessee, grants permission through the airport manager for him to conduct a UAV flight of property located at these addresses, and so forth. Brett Bamford has received FAA registration for his UAV. If you want to go do this, you should have your FAA registration and execution of this agreement, and a few other stipulations, a phone number he is to call before he flies, a restriction on how high he flies, and restrictions on, if an aircraft comes nearby, he has to get down on the ground. Now, the interesting one, of course, is that the UAV shall remain under the control of and be visible by its pilot at all stages of its flight. Now, this is an interesting one because under some interpretations of this sentence, frankly, under most interpretations of this sentence, an FPV pilot would not be compliant with Part 4. So I think there's still a big open question if you get one of these, whether if you fly FPV, you actually are compliant. That's the big elephant in the room. And down here at the bottom, it says this agreement specific to the UAV and specific flights on this date. The duration of each flight shall not exceed 3 hours. Not really a problem. You should have seen the pile of batteries he brought. He borrowed batteries from a bunch of different people. He must have had a whole backpack full of lipos for the day he spent out at the disc golf course shooting. So each flight not exceeding 3 hours was really, each flight exceeding 3 minutes might have been generous. But there you go. That's what a letter of agreement between a UAV pilot and an airport manager looks like. Now you've seen one, and if you are going to fly within range of an airport, call the airport manager, start a good relationship and be a good example of somebody who's doing the right thing by the hobby. And let's just not talk about point number 4, shall we? Happy flying.